you need to love what you're doing. If you don't love what you're doing, no matter how much also you put a knife to yourself, also you won't do it. No matter, you can't do it naturally, you see. Failure. Jeez. I don't know. I haven't even thought about that yet, actually. I have this sense of OCD-ness, you know. Then I turn over the plate and I see, why is the price tag still here? This is the thing that I get a little bit.
So there is a simple keyword. What success and failure mean to you?
Wow, success and failure. Well, success, I would say whatever that we have achieved now, so far, and we have achieved quite a bit. Whatever plans that we have put into place, it has materialized and we have benefited from it. Failure, jeez. I don't know. I haven't even thought about that yet, actually. Honestly, in all honesty, I mean, it's been quite an interesting ride so far, but whenever I look back and think back about the things that I've gone through, we try to learn from the mistake and we try to move on. Of course, those mistakes are small enough to learn from and to progress on, and we've always been in control of that. I've been quite fortunate that we haven't reached to the stage where we have to say that, it was a complete failure, you know.
Maybe some minor failure.
Little bit here and there, but you know,
that's normal.
It's quite normal, you know, to run a business or part of life, you know, and things like that, you know. I think things has been a very progressive journey so far, you know? Because I don't know, that's what I've experienced so far. So I cannot relate much to failures.
Maybe I mean like what you mentioned just now. Okay, you lost your whole kitchen team. Those you consider as just like a minor failure.
But it's something that you have to recover from.
Yes.
And at that time, it was either a make or break for me, because we just started out and we need time to recover. And that time, nobody who I am. I was nobody. I was just a new kid on the block, you see.
All right.
Trying to prove myself and to prove my worth, you know. But we took it one step at a time and we survived it until today, you know. And there are little crisis management that we need to instill, which we continue to do. It's just that we need to always calculate the collateral damage and collateral risk that's involved. And we have to be sensible with these things, level-headed and things like that.
Agreed. So what's the first thing you'll consider when you start expand your restaurant business? The first thing you will think?
Calculated risk. How much money I'm going to lose?
How much money are you going to lose?
Yes, of course. I need to prepare to lose everything before I want to invest into something. It's an accepted fact. So if let's say we wanted to invest into this floor and we said that, okay, fine, I said, and always remember you spend money that you have. You cannot spend money that you don't have. And then when you spend money that you have, of course, everything is a calculated move. There's a calculated risk involved. Why you want to make this into a Louis XIII room? Why do you want to do that? You know, everything is correlated to what you have before and how does it benefit you and your business and your growth. It's not because, I want to gloat or brag that I have 2 restaurants now, I can feed so many people, I got different concepts, you know, everything has a certain purpose. So the purpose of that is always correlated to why you want to expand. And at the end of the day, this is what I've experienced so far. How do you increase sales? That's the question here. So in order for you to increase sales, you increase your wealth and you increase your profit margin and your profitability and so forth. So instead of expanding into many, many outlets, it's always wiser to expand in one premise, but understanding what is the maximum that you're able to generate out of it. Of course, in this case here, because we don't borrow money from people or we don't even have investors, I got 0 investors. except for this floor over here, which I just recruited or went in business with one investor. But every time if we go into that, it has to be only between two people only, myself and another one. Downstairs, for example, the other part of the restaurant, they're all 100% by me. Nobody can muddle with it because I make the final decision, so I'm responsible. But whenever we want to expand further, we want to do it because we want to also see how far you can push that entity to which maximum level. So of course that comes with forecasting and a lot of planning involved, and how do you convert that, you see. And further to that, we don't need multiple outlets in order for you to still reach to the same goal. The more outlets you have, multiple outlets of hundreds and so forth, the more risk exposure you are yourself, especially with your money as well. And sometimes it's money that you spend out already. It's very difficult to get it back later on.
True.
This is what I've learned so far. But of course, there is the next step. And the next step for me is you already know what your net worth is already, whatever business that you've set up, whatever business that we have set up right now. But the question is how ambitious you want it to be for the next level. So next level to me would be merchandising, branding, IP, intellectual property, HR, training, information, tangible items that cannot be seen in physical, but something that you can sell as value without physically being there.
Correct.
I think this for me is the next step.
Well, I guess whatever you think, it should be the next step really. It will happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
This one thing I've observed so far during this pandemic time that there is value, not just influence, but the information or the technique or even what we're discussing right now. I can share what my past experiences are, but I also want to share with what I think the future might hold for us.
True. So the next will be, what is the most emotionally painful things that you have experienced in your life?
Wow, emotion.
Emotionally painful.
Frankly, I don't have. I wouldn't say painful, but I would say it hurts for a while. But then after that, I've trained my mind to don't feel anything anymore. Frankly, because the more emotional you are, the more you're not able to judge things properly. Whenever I get into a certain emotional state, there are small little hiccups here and there. I call them hiccups, but I wouldn't say that it's detrimental to your business and to your life. But I would say it depends how you handle it. For me, I get emotional when I don't feel the gratitude of staff in particular or people that you hold. Because you see, you must understand, in the food business, you spend almost 13 hours a day of the 24 hours that you have in the restaurant itself. So you kind of, it's like your second home like that. As a boss, we try to fulfill everyone's satisfaction. But sometimes people...
You're unable to please everybody.
Of course, especially your staff. Because there's always be more and more and more and more. Whether money sense, whether whatever sense, there's always asking more. So it's something which I get a little bit emotional if the person betrays or does something intentionally that makes me feel that, hey, didn't I give you enough? Didn't I do enough for you? This is where I feel a little bit emotionally distressed. But of course, those things take time. I mean, it just takes a couple of days to recover from that. I think, that's about it. I mean, customers, I never take it personally, not unless they want to take it personally with me. I mean, I got no problem with you, but if you want to find problem with me, then I will be the first person to. You talk about emotional part, of the whole thing, I mean, we're all human, at the end of the day. We cannot be robot all the time and be so like that, so strict and so narrow-minded. So I'm just sharing what I've experienced so far.
True. Well, I mean, it's like almost every question I ask you, it's like a lot of it, it's like you hit it very well. It's like what I've experienced in the past. Especially like when you say you lost the whole kitchen team, I've experienced it as well, but it's not in F&B. I mean, it's like my whole partnership teams. Left me alone. okay, the last man standing, the kind of things.
Yep.
You know. Do you agree that being a chef is harder than what you think?
Frankly, I've evolved to be a businessman already. I don't really relate myself as a chef. I just relate myself as a person that still cooks until today, and I enjoy doing it because it's part of passion.
It's a passion.
I think any job or any profession that you feel very strongly about is always a hard thing to do. But I think what really fuels it is the passion that you have inside of you. You need to love what you're doing. If you don't love what you're doing, no matter how much also you put a knife to yourself, also you won't do it. No matter you can't do it naturally. So, of course, slogging it out in the kitchen, standing in front of the hot grill, for 6 hours, and serving up food, for other people, of course it's difficult. But once you find the purpose in it and you enjoy doing it, I don't think so it's difficult at all.
So the most important is whether you have the passion or not.
Whether you enjoy it. And of course, passion is the natural thing that you would feel towards whatever profession that you're doing.
All right. So if a customer expressed their dissatisfactions with your food, how do you react on it?
Positively. Always positively. Never negatively. Very easy very easy question to answer. Yeah. It's always positive one. Because when a person comments negative or positive, of course positive we take it, we're very happy. But when the person say not so good things, you take it in a constructive sense, because I've not experienced ever that become personal. Not one time that. So in terms of the
no matter how nasty is the customer.
I think it's all related to attitude.
All right.
There are some customers that you cannot recover. There are some customers that you can recover. So the ones that you cannot recover, it's just 1 out of 100. So you do the percentages you come back and you say that, hey, you can't win all, so you cannot win all, then just go on life, life goes on, Instead that you cannot lose sleep. Okay, yes, sometimes we do lose sleep. We did the best we could, but still, lost a customer, but it's just part and parcel of life, something that we just have to live and learn.
Are you a workaholic, Darren?
I like to work, but it comes to me very naturally. Before, you only think of it because not unless you're being paid to do it or there's some goal that you're trying to achieve,
All right.
But I look at it differently. I look at it as you do it because there's just things to do. You just continue to do it, When I was starting out, I would say halfway, probably 3 years into DC, I have this sense of OCD-ness, this obsessive compulsive disorder thing,
OCD.
I was part then. I'm still part of it now, but I know how to learn how to control it. I learned how to control the breathing, and I know how to control my emotions. I learned how to control how I react to certain things.
In which aspect? I mean, OCD in which aspect?
Okay, let's say for example, the lineup of the flowers were not in line. Why is it that there's one branch sticking out like that? It shouldn't be. It should be all the same.
Okay.
You need to give and take in those circumstances, and of course, those kind of thing translates into a workaholic way of doing things because you're so OCD with things that you want to get things done right your way.
That's more on perfection. It's like more perfectionist.
Yes, to a certain extent, but it depends. But it won't get you very far. The one that really get you far is that you can make use of it as part of your objective, but you shouldn't make it as part of the entirety of things. So I used to be like that. And then when you become like that, the work just keeps on piling and piling, and it's never ending when you can never finish what you just set out to do because you cannot accept yourself. It's not perfect enough. For me, there is bits and pieces of that still in me, but I've learned how to let go more than before. I give you an example. But there's certain limits So let's say the staff set up the table, and then I did my spot check, and I say, everything looks okay, okay, fine. Then I turn over the plate and I see, why is the price tag still here? So I tell the staff, why is the price tag still here? Then okay, I assume that they're going to take it off Then 2 weeks later, 1 week later, I check, why is the price tag still here? This is the thing that I get a little bit
agitated.
That's the before. I go crazy. I was like, hey, it's obvious, to take out the price tag, or why didn't you do this? So this kind of affect things down the line lah.
Alright.
You know, in a very small sense, but it translates in so many other aspects of the operations, you know. So, but we still want people to respect and to work cohesively, and you know, and not have any not have too many doubts about the boss. You know, we still want to take care of each other lah. You know, at the end of the day.
I mean, it depends how your staff or your team look at it lah. Okay, some if they appreciate, wow, it's something that they can learn from you. I mean, it's like even it's OCD kind of people, but depends how these people look at it.
I looked at it more right now in my career. The level of my career right now is more when I do the mentorship to people. It's not so much teaching them how to cook. I can teach them how to cook, means I can explain why. But importantly is that they understand why. A lot of times, a lot of my students or so-called my staff, you know, or my apprentices, you know, or my commis, you know, they think they can repeat like monkey, you know, monkey see, monkey do, But I've been cooking for how many years already? They've been cooking for how many years? I make it look as simple, but they think that it might be easy to do. But I try to teach them not about, if you want to practice, you go home and practice. You go buy 10 fish, you go and do like that. I teach you the technique. You will get better at it anyway. But importantly is you must understand the philosophy and the principle behind it. Then eventually once that message, I get hold of the message, I feel more fulfilling that I taught my apprentices, my students, that they understand. And hopefully they will take it to greater heights later on, you know, in terms of the way of thinking.
Cool. Very well.
Right. So sake pairings have been quite popular lately since the beginning of this year. Yes. French fine dining is sake. I mean, the younger cooks need to be a bit more disciplined and give a bit more respect to the elders. There's nothing wrong to fail. I don't know why people are so afraid to fail, especially the young one. The more you fail, the better you become.
Exactly.